Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Disambiguation Show with Dalek and Dylan. My name is Erik, I'll be your Dalek this evening, and joining me is Dylan. Dylan is a professional
Hello.
racer and an insult engineer at Screw You University in Downwith Yanksville, just south of Manchester. His escapades can be found on his YouTube channel, Lord Slar. How are you today, Dylan?
Bamboozled by your gobbledygook, sir.
Thank you. I am honored. Now, the way this show works is that I'm going to ask a question to Dylan here, and he'll have 30 seconds to a minute to give the best explanation he can. Alright, Dylan, your first question is, why did Jon Pertwees' hair get progressively more bouffant as his time on Doctor Who went on? Whenever you're ready.
Define bouffant.
Curly and poofy.
Okay, right, yeah. Sorry for my ignorance. So, I think the reason for that is the less exposure he had to Roger Delgado, the more puffy his hair went. Because you see, him and Delgado had a bit of a thing going on. You might think, oh, they were just friends, but they weren't. They were more than friends. And as he got more sexually agitated at the absence of Delgado, who had appeared in every single season 8 episode, but none in season 11, before he had in fact died, his hair got more and more bouffant, as it were.
Fantastic. That is a brilliant explanation. Kids, always remember to give your Pertwee lots of love, otherwise their hair will take over your house.
Wait,
Right.
Does this mean the same thing applies to Peter Capaldi, but in reverse? Because the more missy he got, the more bouffant his hair got.
True. Very true. So,
Johnson having a boner at himself.
She says that, and then the EastEnders theme kicks in.
alright, I'm not gonna take a look at the meaning behind that. We'll let you make your own inferences on that. Next question. If someone were to take all 4 walls from the TARDIS exterior, what would happen to the interior?
What, like the TARDIS gives the universe a massive hug? I mean, what do you expect from me here?
Something like that last response, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe what would happen is, because the thing is, the TARDIS wardrobe is massive. I mean, it's so massive that, the best thing that Dodo can find in the Ark to wear is a Crusader outfit that looks fucking awful. So you can just imagine how expansive this wardrobe is if that's the best thing you can find. You find such fine robes as that. So imagine that's open to the universe. I mean, shops would go bankrupt. The economy would crash as everybody just like, why would we go and buy clothes from the shops when we can just go in the big TARDIS that's appeared in the middle of nowhere, but is also everywhere, if you get what I mean. So more clothes for everybody, more bacon and eggs for everybody from the food machine, and a broken economy. Because the TARDIS is real communism.
I knew it all along. Sidney Newman truly was the reincarnation of Vladimir Lenin. And now?
I mean, caught out.
And now, what was the Great Intelligence's childhood like?
Well, the problem with being formless and shapeless in this society is that you're not, white enough. So the Great Intelligence, as a schoolboy, was racially abused for being nothing. And the thing about being racially abused being nothing is nobody will take you seriously because you are literally nothing. And so what the Great Intelligence did is it actually they possessed a little boy called Martin Luther King and did all the civil rights. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this. Why the fuck did I choose this angle? Never choose the racial angle. We're just going to get you in trouble. I'll stop now.
I'm still leaving that in. That was fantastic.
Well, I didn't know where to go from there. I try my best, okay? Is this what it's meant to be like?
Well, it's obvious where you're going to go from there.
I don't know where I was going to go from there. What? The Doctor assassinated Martin Luther King to kill the Great Intelligence? Yeah, there's a plot for a Doctor Who story. Come on, make it.
Well,
make it.
He did
It'll
die
only
during...
anger everybody and cause so much controversy the show will probably be cancelled.
Oh, jeez. Every day we stray further from Troughton's vision.
Oh, I mean, oh, I've just got that image of Patrick Troughton, just a big smile, like behind a sniper rifle.
You see, Jamie, this is going to do great good for the universe.
Does this mean that the Doctor was also behind JFK and Gandhi?
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I mean, come on, the Doctor's just been assassinating everybody. That's his secret, you know. The Doctor's always like, oh, I'm the man who never would. Yet, in Frontier and Space and Day of the Daleks, we see him wantonly murder Ogrons. And the thing about Ogrons is that they're a bit black. So therefore, he's going to kill civil rights activists.
This is like a video
Okay,
in
sorry,
itself.
no, I've just got you in more trouble. Right, should we stop this now? I think race was probably the wrong topic to talk about.
No, hold on. Before we move on, I just want to go on the causing people's deaths thing. He's the one that gave Freddie Mercury AIDS.
Oh, no. I mean, you know, racism, check. Homophobia, check. What's next? Right. Right, the next one, we need to insult women. Okay, so...
All right, Dylan. After that masterpiece, next up we have... Say that tomorrow it was revealed that an extra 10 minutes was cut from the TV movie. What would that 10 minutes have been? And as an optional extra bit to add, why was it cut? Whenever you're ready.
All right. So what happens is basically Eric Roberts' master went back to ancient China, ancient Cathay, as it were, to show Chang Li that the Doctor was actually Genghis Khan. And this is canon. Because you see, William Hartnell's Doctor, the first Doctor, before he went to 1963, he went to ancient China and became the great Khan of the Mongols and invaded China. And the reason he did this is because he killed the real Genghis Khan and became Genghis Khan. And he did this because he left Gallifrey for a reason. It wasn't because he was bored. Well, it kind of was because he was bored. It was because he couldn't get laid. But then he remembered, reading the history books, that Genghis Khan got laid. And he got laid so much that his DNA is in almost everyone in Asia. So he thought, damn, I'm going to kill that son and replace him. And so basically the story is that Eric Roberts is the master and Chang Li, they go and cock-block Hartnell to try and make sure that everybody is not a Time Lord on the Earth. And then eventually they come back to our time, and the TV movie continues as usual. But the reason why they cut it was because they thought that the Genghis Khan should have been played by an American rather than a British person. They just couldn't deal with that, you know. They just couldn't deal with the fact, because Americans, they just can't handle anybody who's not American, as the TV movie shown. Because literally the reason why Eric Roberts was cast and said, "Oh, we need an American," I don't know where I'm going with this. Help me. Right, there you go.
That is indeed the extended cut of the TV movie. I have that on Blu-ray.
Oh, I mean, you know, it's branching into pornography territory, but oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I mean, there's a reason why they only made 100 copies of it. And finally, Dylan, what was the policeman at the start of An Unearthly Child thinking about on the night the TARDIS left?
All right, so what he was thinking about is what he was going to have for dinner. Because it was a particularly cold night out there. You know how it is in a cold November British night. Just walking through the streets, you know, you're a policeman, well, you're wrapped but fairly warm. You know, you're still going to feel quite chilly, and you're thinking, I'm really hoping that when I get home, I'm going to get a nice dinner to fill my belly. So he goes home, and comes home to find his wife is gone. And do you want to know who his wife was? His wife was Barbara. Barbara was taken away in the TARDIS. This policeman, he didn't get a warm meal. And you know what happened to him? He died. And then he came back to, and I'm not kidding here, he came back to cook a meal for himself. And with this meal, he became super powered and full of energy. And what he did is he decided, right, I'm going to come back to life now and become a bus conductor. And as the bus conductor, he was the bus conductor that tried to charge, who charged Ian extra in the chase, right at the end of the chase, when they get back to London in 1965. and he saw Ian with Barbara, and he just couldn't handle it. So obviously he went off the rails. And do you want to know what he did then? He just went over to the post office tower and decided, right, I'm going to become Wotan now. And he became Wotan, and that's why the war machines happened, because there was actually nothing wrong with the computer. It was actually made very well, and, we shouldn't really, lay the blame on Professor Brett, because it was all just a man who became a computer after first not getting his dinner, then dying, then coming back, then finding out he was betrayed, then becoming a computer, It's pretty simple.
That is that was absolutely beautiful, actually. Ending this off on a fantastic note here. Well,
It's a tragedy. Doctor Who is a Greek tragedy.
oh, absolutely. In fact, it was also a Shakespearean tragedy, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, do you know what this is? This is a Roman farce.
This is a Roman fart, is what it is. Well, it appears we've reached our terminus here on the Doctor Who Disambiguation show. I'd like to thank Dylan for joining me and potentially getting my channel shut down, and I'd like to say thank you for watching. Good night and good number wang.
Ta-ta!